Because Todd's Ford County farm had been managed so intensely for so long, he was able to have a more refined strategy. After all, he thought he already knew all the hit listers that slept and ate there all summer long.
Todd made the easy decision to go after a buck he knows as the 6x5. A mainframe 6x5 with a ton of mass, guesstimated to be in the low 180s. On the third evening of his search for the hit lister, Todd felt a blind setup in the southwest corner of the Milo field was going to be the best ambush spot.
We figured that the 6x5 was still on the same pattern of bedding in the bordering CRP field and feeding on the ripening Milo. I knew this through scouting sessions leading up to opening day. My worry was once the deer strip all their velvet, you only have a short period of time before a certain percentage of your bucks simply relocate.
The first season that opens in Kansas is the early muzzleloader season. That's when the velvet is about to come off or already has. So because a large percentage of bucks change their pattern, we are always directing our efforts towards deer like the 6x5 as Todd did, and stick it out for a long haul if need be, or go for the oldest and biggest, most killable buck that makes sense to the tag holder.
So Todd was playing it safe and looking for the 6x5 for obvious reasons. Since he has owned this particular Ford County piece for several years, he's known about the 6x5. While scouting the Milo field in the middle part of the ranch, Todd knew this buck was eating in the field and bedding somewhere in or around the bordering CRP field.
We played it safe by setting up a blind on the southwest end of the Milo field, or at least that was the plan until we spotted a couple of bucks down the field about 1,000 yards away.
The next morning they were headed back and hoped for a look at the 6x5. But then, as you can always count on in Kansas, the wind switched and so did the plan.
And I opted for a spot at a telephone pole behind some tall grass at the northeast end of the field. I've used this spot many times to sneak in and observe where potential shooters may be out in the ag fields at daylight. This spot sometimes allows for a stalk or helps in the observation for setting up for the afternoon hunts.
Now here's where you just gotta love Kansas. Once there was enough light to see the deer, Heavy was nowhere to be seen, but Todd immediately spotted a pretty nice buck.
In Todd's case, he was blessed with a good problem. Even though he already had his mind made up, he finally came to his senses and ended up with a net Boone & Crockett South Central Kansas whitetail.